Hi, I'm Amy. In calculus, you're expected to be fluent in radian measure for angles. I have a pretty quick and simple way for you to memorize them. A good starting place when we're talking about radian measure is just to quickly talk about what is a radian. If you take the radius of a circle and wrap it around the edge of the circle, the angle that intercepts that arc length is considered 1 radian. It's about 57 1/3 degrees. You don't need to memorize that, but it's helpful to know that it takes 3.14 approximately of those radians to get all the way over to 180 degrees. In fact, it takes exactly pi of those radians, about 3.14, to equal 180 degrees. So pi radians is 180 degrees. Notice I didn't write rad or any other units for radians. You don't have to. For some reason, mathematicians have agreed you can just kind of leave it blank, and we all agree that we know we're talking about radians. So if it takes 3.14 of them to get to 180 degrees, turns out it takes another 3.14 of them to get the rest of the way around the circle. And so when we get to 360 degrees, we are at 2 pi radians. So now let's look at some ways to easily translate the degree measures into the radians that we need to know. Let's start off by looking at the multiples of 45 degrees. So I've taken the circle and it's right now cut into 8 equal pieces. That means the upper half of the circle is cut into 1, 2, 3, 4 equal pieces. And each of those wedges has an angle measure 45 degrees. And 45 degrees, and so on and so on. And of course, 4 times 45 gives us 180. So as far as radian measure goes, we've taken pi radians and cut it into 4 equal pieces. So each of those little wedges has an angle measure of pi over 4 radians. So 45 degrees is pi over 4. When we go all the way around to 90 degrees, that's now 2 pi over 4. Of course, we usually reduce that to pi over 2. So watch the pattern as it goes all the way around the circle. We had 1 pi over 4, 2 pi over 4. This guy is 3 pi over 4. We have 4 pi over 4, which of course reduces to pi. 5 pi over 4. We have 6 pi over 4, which of course reduces to 3 pi over 2. We have 7 pi over 4. And finally, lastly, we have 8 pi over 4, which reduces to 2 pi. Next, looking at multiples of 60 degrees, you'll see that the circle's cut into 6 pieces, which means the upper half is cut into 3 equivalent wedges. So each wedge is equal to pi over 3, each of these little angle measures here. So 60 degrees, pi over 3, and you just follow the pattern around the circle. 120 is 2 pi over 3. 180 is 3 pi over 3. 240 is 4 pi over 3. Here we have 5 pi over 3. And lastly, full circle, 6 pi over 3, which reduces to 2 pi. You probably have the hang of it by now, but I'll do one last example using the multiples of 30 degrees. You'll see the upper half of the circle is cut into 6 equal pieces, which means we've divided pi by 6. So 30 degrees is pi over 6. So 1 pi over 6, 2 pi over 6, 3 pi over 6, 4 pi over 6, 5 pi over 6, 6 pi over 6. I think you get the idea. 7 pi over 6, 8 pi over 6, 9 pi over 6, 10 pi over 6, 11 pi over 6, and 12 pi over 6. It's a great idea to print off a copy of the unit circle from my website and then practice writing in all the angle measures in radians.